He trusted his brother. Until a hidden recording shattered everything. Ethan and Rachel had been together for 6 years, 3 of those as husband and wife. Long before marriage was even on the horizon, Ethan had already bought a cozy 2-bedroom condo in a quiet, upscale part of town. He wasn't one for casual flings or late-night games. Even as a bachelor, he was building a life for a family he hadn't met yet. That's where Rachel came in. When he invited her to move in, everything felt like it was falling into place. They both worked. Ethan had a 9-to-5 office job, while Rachel styled hair at a boutique salon with a rotating schedule. On most days, they passed each other like ships in the night, but when their calendars aligned, life felt whole. Comfortable. Then came that Saturday. A rare day off for both of them. They were planning to hit the park. Just a simple afternoon together. Rachel was already dressed and waiting at the door, lacing up her sneakers when Ethan's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, muttered an apology, and stepped into the bedroom to take the call. 5 minutes later he came back out. His face shadowed like a thundercloud. "That was Mason," he said stiffly. "He's in town dealing with something. Needs a place to crash a couple nights. I told him he could stay here." Rachel paused. She didn't like Mason, Ethan's older brother. Never had. But arguing about him always went sideways fast. So she just nodded, though her stomach tightened. See, Mason was a master at messing up, and Ethan, bless him, was always there to clean it up. What made it worse was the unevenness of it all. Mason had been adopted when he was 3. Ethan's parents had struggled with infertility for years before bringing Mason into their home. And then, like some cosmic joke, they got pregnant unexpectedly. Ethan was the biological miracle, the golden boy. And no matter how hard they tried to love both sons equally, it was obvious. Mason always came second. Over time, resentment fermented into quiet jealousy. Ethan became the standard. Every good grade, every praise, every pat on the back, it all widened the gap. But Ethan, he never saw it that way. He just loved his big brother. Tried to make him feel included. Tried to lift him up, even when Mason didn't ask for it. So when Mason showed up, all smiles and a duffel bag over his shoulder, Rachel was caught off guard. In person he was charming, funny. One of those people who made you want to lean in and hear the next part of the story. 2 days stretched into 5. Then 7. Ethan had a business trip coming up, and Rachel didn't love the idea of being alone in the condo with Mason. But what could she say? They weren't kids. They were family. Besides, it was just 1 week. On a quiet Monday, no work, no plans, Mason asked if she wanted to drive out to the lake. He'd rented a car, said he needed to clear his head. She hesitated, then agreed. It was one of those brutal hot summer days, and the car's AC was busted. As they passed a wild, secluded beach, Mason veered off the road, gave her a look and laughed. "Come on. We'll cool off." They ran into the water like teenagers, splashing, laughing. At one point they collided, chest to chest, no space left. One look turned into a kiss, hard and sudden, like it had been waiting for the moment to erupt. Rachel pulled away first, breathless and stunned. Nothing else happened. Not that day. The next morning she couldn't sit still. The guilt wrapped around her ribs like wire. She went out for brunch with her friends, forced a smile, and sent Ethan sweet messages like everything was fine. Like her heart hadn't cracked in a place she couldn't name. But things escalated fast. Later that week, after the gym, Mason returned to the condo, sweat glistening down his arms. Rachel was wrapped in a towel, heading toward the bedroom. He was already there. Already waiting. "We should talk," he said softly. One hand brushed her shoulder. And something in her gave in. They ended up in the very bed she shared with Ethan. Limbs tangled, whispers exchanged. Regret pressed at her chest like a cinder block, but she shoved it down. "Are you going to tell Ethan?" Mason asked afterward. Rachel hesitated. "Does he have to know?" "He'll find out eventually," Mason said, eyes dark. What neither of them realized was he already had. Before his trip, Ethan, acting on a nagging gut feeling, had slipped a tiny voice recorder beneath the bedroom dresser. He told himself it was paranoia, that he just didn't like Mason's energy around Rachel. But his instincts were dead on. On the flight home, Ethan plugged in his headphones and listened. Every moment, every whisper, every betrayal. By the time he landed, something inside him had shattered and solidified all at once. Rachel was still at work. Mason was gone, typical. Ethan opened the closet and pulled out her suitcase, the one they only ever used for vacations. He began packing her things, methodically, only, as if he were erasing her. He drove straight to the salon. Clients were lounging under dryers, sipping cucumber water, when Ethan walked in, duffel in hand. Rachel's face lit up for a heartbeat, until her eyes dropped to the suitcase. "Ethan, what's going on?" "We're done," he said, his voice cold and carrying. "I'll be filing for divorce. Now you can sleep with whoever you want without lying about it." She yanked his arm, dragging him outside. "What are you even talking about?" "I heard everything," he said flatly. "You and Mason, bedroom, like, all of it." Rachel froze. "I want you out. Don't come back." For a second her mask dropped. "Fine," she snapped. "At least Mason's a god in bed. With him, I don't have to fake it." Ethan walked away. "I'm moving in with him," she shouted. "He's better at everything than you are." Ethan didn't even look back, just climbed into his car and said calmly, "Good luck finding him." Because he already knew the truth. Mason was a hurricane, all charm and destruction. As a kid, he'd vanish for days, crashing at friends' houses after a fight. Now grown, his disappearances crossed state lines. No text, no calls, no return address. Rachel spent days trying to reach him. Voicemails, texts, promises. But the line stayed dead. Eventually reality sank in. She'd been just another notch in Mason's lifelong game of wounding Ethan. Now she faced a messy divorce, a scramble for a place to stay, and the crushing truth that she had burned her life down for a man who never planned to stay. So, who do you think crossed the line first? Mason, Rachel, or Ethan for planting the recorder? Let us know in the comments. And if you've ever lived through a betrayal like this, hit that subscribe button for more real-life stories that'll chill you to the bone. Until next time, stay sharp and stay strong.